We're following some breaking news. The Justice Department has released special counsel David Weiss's final report into his investigations into Hunter Biden. CBS News Justice Department reporter Rob Legare joins us now. So this is the investigation into both the gun charges and the tax case. Hunter was obviously pardoned by his father, President Biden, last month. But what I found really interesting in what the parts of the report that I've read so far is it's pretty scathing into the president's comments that he made about sort of the politicization of the Justice Department. What did the report say about that?
Yeah, hey, Lindsay, good evening. So to your point, when President Biden pardoned his son, he alleged that the investigation into his son's actions, particularly a gun investigation about illegally applying for a gun license under the influence of drugs, and tax evasion in California. Both of those cases, the president alleged were, quote, raw politics. Well, the special counsel tonight in his report submitted to the attorney general takes those criticisms of the sitting president head on, alleging that such claims impugn the dignity of special counsel employees and Justice Department employees, and said, quote, they are wrong. And so he's really taking the criticisms of the president head on here and defends his prosecutorial decisions. You'll remember the special counsel came under criticism from both Republicans and Democrats for various aspects of his investigation. Here he explains that he adhered to what he says are the Justice Department's principles of federal prosecution and stands by all of his decisions.
What did the report say about the gun tax and gun charges against Biden?
Right. Well, he does list out, and again, we're still reading through this, but the special counsel
almost 300
does
pages.
list out all. Yeah, it's long. Luckily, the report itself is a bit shorter. We have a lot of appendices to go through as well. But what we do know in his defense of both charges is that both indictments against the president's son, Hunter, is that he lists out the evidence that led to the charges. Importantly, in a lot of these reports from special counsels to the attorney general, which we may be getting more in the next few days, the investigators have to explain why they decided to do these things. They have to tell the attorney general, I decided to bring these charges, which are in public court records, because of the evidence, and then list the evidence again and summarize it as listed in the indictment. And so here on the gun and tax charges, the special counsel says that both led to indictments, and then says the guilty plea on the guilty conviction by a jury in Delaware on the gun case, and then the guilty plea on the tax evasion charge in California are evidence that those cases were properly brought.
Yeah, one of the pages simply says, I prosecuted the two cases against Mr. Biden because he broke the law. All right, there's a lot of news in your world. I want to shift now to the report on Trump from special counsel Jack Smith. How soon could we see volume one? So volume one is into, I believe, election interference, not the classified documents case. What information can we expect to be included in that?
Right. Well, to your question on how soon, Judge Eileen Cannon's order preventing the release of the volume one of the report by the Justice Department expires tonight at midnight. And so we could see that as early as as tonight at midnight, but that remains to be seen. Again, these reports have to be transmitted by the Attorney General to Congress. We know the Attorney General has that report because Jack Smith said in a court filing last week that he submitted it to the Attorney General and it was completed. That first volume deals with Trump's conduct after the 2020 election. The second deals with his handling of classified records. So what should we expect in that first volume? Yeah. We should expect quite similar to what we see here in David Weiss's report. Explanations of charging decisions, explanations and maybe some clarity around evidence that was collected by federal prosecutors and federal investigators. And finally, potentially some better explanations about why the special counsel, the former special counsel, Jack Smith, took the decisions he did in the Supreme Court and other cases in which they were arguing about presidential immunity. Hopefully we'll get some clarity there. When, however, remains to be seen for right now.
Okay. Rob Legare, busy week in your world. Thank you so much.
Thanks.